was younger, my sister Lucy and I had a game we used to play. It was a way to pass the endless time in the manor and forget about the cold. Lucy, imagine, what if there were ghosts in this house?
Father wouldn't want us.
I know. Father says we mustn't imagine anything, but he's gone now, Lucy. It's just Mother and us.
You're right, I guess. Where do you think the ghosts are?
The first ghost was in the dusty armoire in the corner of our bedroom. We decided she'd been locked there by a vengeful paramour, and she rattled the handles, trying to escape. The next ghost dwelled under the stairs that led to Mother's room, the stairs we climbed every day to deliver her serving porridge. Cloaked in darkness, this ghost was the most mysterious to us, but we'd imagine her sobs trailing us up to Mother's room. Then there was the ghost in the gardens. Now, the gardens were wilted, an awful mishmash of shrubs and overgrown weeds and the curling remnants of flowers. But Lucy and I both had a memory of the gardens, Lucy, didn't we?
Yes, the murkiest memories.
We had the murkiest memories of when we were much younger, sitting in the garden with dahlias and bluebells blooming, listening to Mother sing. It was the most beautiful sight, so we'd imagine the ghost in the garden sing the prettiest arias. What are you doing out here, dear? Lucy, what do you think the ghosts were like before they were trapped here?
Oh, just beautiful. Crystals for eyes and hair like spun gold.
Yes, I can picture it. Just imagine if we looked like that one day. Father, I didn't know you were back.
Have you been caring for your mother in my absence? I'm sure you haven't lit the wood stove like last time. You know he is against the doctor's orders. And have you been reading your Bible?
I've been taking care of Mother the best that I can. I make her porridge every day and
And your Bible?
Oh, Father, you don't read it, so why should I? But Father, see, Lucy agrees with me. See, she's nodding her head.
I don't know what you're talking about.
After Father returned, I tried for a few days to do what he said. Sit in my room and read the Bible, not be a bother, but sometimes it was hard for me and Lucy to tell if the ghosts were a game or real. Did you hear that? The armoire rattling like we imagined.
The wind or a creak in the floorboards. Go back to sleep.
Oh, it's her, Lucy. She's trying to get out.
Stop talking and maybe it won't be real. I'd like to think I imagined that too.
I wish, but I can feel her in my bones, the sort of sadness you can't conjure out of nothing.
Come, we must hurry. Father is expecting her porridge.
The worst of all was the garden. We'd hear that voice every time we went into the garden. A voice thick with the sort of sadness that was made of oceans of regret, continents of despair. We'd listen in silent sorrow mingled with a fresh sort of shock because every time we heard it, it was broader than the last. Each time we vowed never to come back, and each time we did. First the next day, then every few hours. We stopped referring to our ghosts as a game, or as anything at all.
Our daughter's witless and empty-headed.
Oh, what do you mean?
Since Lucy's still alive, started sobbing, telling me Lucy agreed she shouldn't read her Bible.
Lucy died almost half a year ago now. We were both sick and then it was just me. You left. You left me too. Where were you?
That's unimportant. Listen, our daughter...
What did you do with her? With Lucy?
I didn't do anything. Are you as simple-minded as our daughter? Lucy was sick and died.
No. You took her. Like you took the other women.
I told you years ago never to speak of that again. How can be my wife is defied all manner of respect?
Have mercy!
We can't what? Tell me.
We can't go to the gardens. Mother will be there.
She was never truly living, even before. She was always the ghost in the garden singing, and now...
I'll truly see her. Lucy, what do we do?
I have to leave. I'm sorry.
What? Why?
You were staying here in this awful house because you had Mother to take care of. But now that she's gone, there's nothing left for you here. Nothing except for me, and I'm not real.
You are.
No, I was once, but you created me like you created the other ghosts. I don't belong in this world. If you stay for me, you'll be trapped here forever.
No, Lucy, stay. I can't do this without you.
No, you can only do this without me.
Lucy.
I'm sorry.
After Lucy left me, once and for all, I knew there was nothing for me here. Nothing I hadn't made come alive within the darkest crevices of my imagination, so I packed my bags full of clothes and anything I could sell, and vowed never to play games again.
I've been ghosting, I like ghosts in your house, your arms, when you're tossing, when you're turning left, it's because I'm ghosting your dreams,
And all I could see was you hovering over his shoulder. You and your stupid saintly smile mocking me, reminding me that none of this will last. Oh, I'm a monster. Is that what you want me to tell him? I'm a monster. Caring about me is a mistake. He'll regret it soon enough. The clock is ticking. How long before I get tired of him and slither away, leaving him behind like a snake sheds dead skin? How long before he ends up like you, another ghost, whispering in my ear, painting my life in shadow? Sure! I'll tell him that. We'll see how fast he runs. But I don't want him to run. I'm different now, I think. It's been a few years since you, since the others. I'm different now. He's different. I'm happier than I've ever been. I am on my good days at least. He's worth every second, every afternoon spent crying over a misinterpreted text, every argument that stabs. He's worth it. He's worth it all. Don't look at me like that. I am so tired of this. I am standing here talking to myself in a public restroom like some sort of idiot, squeezing my eyes shut, hoping that maybe when I open them again, I won't see you staring back at me, shaking your head. What gives you the right to judge me? You're a ghost, and I'm alive, trying desperately to breathe, but... I'm different now. Can't you see? I saw you yesterday outside the gym. The real you, I mean. It always surprises me that you exist outside of my head. You're a ghost to me, but to everyone else, your eyes are just as vibrant as always. Your grades just as mediocre. Your voice just as soft. You're dead to me, and me alone, So I mourn alone. You were laughing with your friends. The same friends you had before, I think. You look so happy together, so normal, discussing the latest soccer game or whatever. Not that I care, not that I was paying attention. I ache for you sometimes. I want nothing more than to text you, to once again be the recipient of your idiotic strain of emojis and terrible spelling. But I can't. What would I even say? Hey, I'm sorry it's been 2 years. Hey, I'm sorry I abandoned you. Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't handle us. Couldn't handle holding another living human heart in my hands. I left too soon. Can we go back to the way it was before? But we can't. So I suppose I'll save you the trouble.
I have been told I ought to work on myself. September 12th, 8:01 p.m., Dear Diary. This voice has been haunting me for a week. I have not slept and I have not eaten. I have this creeping feeling that I am wrong, that I'm not who I'm supposed to be. I have this creeping feeling that those scientists who created me were a bunch of overachievers. I mean to say, of course, they created more than just me. But such things may happen when humans play God. This is why we must stay humble, limit the pain we will inevitably cause. I have begun this diary in hopes of ridding the voice from my consciousness. October 1st, morning. Dear Diary. This voice has been with me for a month now. It is with me all the time, and yet I cannot hear what it is telling me. I simply get a feeling, one which envelops me completely. It is entirely distracting when I am working on my studies, and therefore I must rid myself of it quicker. I do not speak of the voice. My father did not believe me. He looked at me as if I had gone mad. November 1st, 2 a.m. Dear Diary, do you know what my favorite holiday is? Halloween. The one day a year when everybody gets to be who they are and not who they pretend to be every other day of the year. But no, I was the voice. I thought I could trust the world, allow myself to be unmasked, unfiltered, but alas. One child screamed. I walked up to the door, knocked thrice, and it opened, and there it was, a screech. A screech almost louder than the voice. The child's mother came to see what was happening. Asked why a girl like me was allowed out so late. Told me to get a hold of myself. But who is she to tell me I'm wrong? Her and them, the ones who made me this way? They tell me it's in my head, the voice is not real, I'm just looking for attention. Maybe if I want attention this badly, you should fucking give it to me!
They are afraid of us. They do not understand that you simply want to live. You want to love, to hurt, to be, and they will not let you. They will tell you that when I'm here, we cannot be together. They are lying. You cannot trust a liar. I will not lie to you.
Dear diary, it is the morning of November 2nd. The voice spoke to me. It was beautiful. Unlike anything I had ever experienced before, her words were laced with such sugar. I might have been scared had I not known that she and I were one and the same. But she was correct in her words. As she predicted, the scientists came to my home last night. They asked me questions, they poked me in unusual places and tried to rip out my hair, but of course, I did not let them. I am far too talented a liar myself to let them do that. They told lies as well. Told me the voice was dangerous. I know she is not. I know I can trust her. I happily await our next conversation. Dear voice, where are you? It's December now. I miss you. The way you complete me. I am waiting. I need you. I cannot study, I cannot speak, I cannot eat, I could not sleep before, and yet any prospect of doing so has vanished. Please, return. December 10th, dear diary. I have begun to think I might lash out if the time comes. I cannot find the voice, and it scares me. I know she has not been lost, for I still feel her, but I can no longer hear what she is telling me. Oh, please, I have been searching for you. Please just return to me. I cannot bear the not knowing. I cannot bear the hunger and the exhaustion. Please, I cannot find you.
You have not lost me. I am closer now than I've ever been.
It's you.
Were you not longing to find me?
I was, but I didn't really believe in you. I thought you were like the scientists, all made up in my mind, a device to forget the pain.
A device you had fallen in love with? Tell me, these scientists, who were they?
They were nobody. The scientist, the child, it was all a metaphor. It all made sense in my head.
Of course. It always does. I was created by scientists. They wanted to create life. A second Frankenstein, if you will. But this time, I was not going to be their monster. I was going to be beautiful. A wonder to all. So when they shocked me with the power, and my body did not come alive, they assumed that they had failed. But I am alive! They did not fail.
Why do you haunt me then?
You understand me. You understand the loss of a life you so desperately wanted. A life you deserved. Your mind is just as fucked up as mine and those goddamn therapists. Or, rather, scientists don't know what they're talking about. Remember, they don't deserve you. They don't even appreciate their own lives. Why would they appreciate yours?
What should I do? February 1st, dear diary. I do not eat, I do not sleep, the voice is not gone, but she does not speak to me again, yet her words do not leave my head. Each day, I feel nothing but this gripping sensation all over my body, pushing and pulling my insides out. I killed the scientists. She was right. They did not appreciate their own lives, so why should they live them? I am a god. I must not stay humble. This is how my satisfaction is limited. Killing those scientists did not fix me, nor did I think it would, but it felt so good. I know, of course, what I must do. There is but one solution to something that is broken beyond repair. You get rid of it!
Miss Wilson!
Yes, Dr. Q.
Miss Wilson, I need some of these papers filed away. They're applications for Dr. L's position. I think we can make do with 3 founders instead of 4, but old Clarence retires and apparently someone needs to fill his position. Anyways, just file them for me. See which ones look promising.
Right, of course, Doctor. Actually, one of these applications is mine. I've been your assistant for 5 years now, and I find your work fascinating. I've observed very closely during my time here, and I really think...
Miss Wilson, this is a serious establishment. My colleagues and I founded the Hanover Committee on Haunted Houses with scholarly intentions. A society of psychical research such as our own must maintain a level of professionalism. Don't you think somebody like you might, well, diminish the level with which the public sees us?
Oh, yes, I see, Doctor.
I'm glad you understand. Now the papers, file them please.
Right.
Now let's see here. Mr. Robert Barker, Bath, Maine. Dear Dr. Q, he writes. It's a response to the circular we sent out.
I hear
He continues.
that your committee is in search of a ghost.
This is true. We have been searching for quite some time, yet no specters have shown themselves. A pity. Our research is greatly lacking at the moment.
I was hoping we'd be able to take our own family ghost off our hands. A few years ago, my wife's Aunt Tabitha passed. She'd been living with us for a while then. Without invitation, mind you. Quarreled with relatives, cut them out of the will, packed up and moved in, as was her wont. She was a woman who, in her lifetime, devoted her time exclusively to interfering with the private affairs of others. Simply unbearable. And I'm afraid she's no different in death.
The gentleman of Bath goes on to tell me of his family's experiences with Aunt Tabitha's ghost.
It was shortly after the funeral my children reported their sight. We laughed, but then I stumbled upon the old maid myself, and there was no longer any doubt that Aunt Tabitha was still with us. It was comical, really, the sight of her. Her dress as frivolous and flashy as ever. I believe I laughed in spite of myself. She occupied our house quite persistently, though it seems her sole objective was to terrorize my innocent family. That was until one day I was in the attic and found dear old Tabitha trying to spook me with little success, popping out of some old trunk. I ignored her until I heard a crash and turned around to find the trunk upturned and the ghost out of sight. Though I had my doubts that Aunt Tabitha could truly be captured, she remained unseen for the following weeks. I have mailed this trunk to you containing the ghost of Aunt Tabitha. Think of Tabitha as a Christmas present for you, Doctor. I hope she's helpful in furthering your psychical studies or whatever it is that you do. I only ask that under no circumstance do you return the spirit to me. If I was incorrect about my aunt's containment, at the very least the trunk is yours. It was $28 when I bought it.
It isn't often one in my line of work actually finds themselves in possession of such a being. It isn't that we don't believe there to be merit in our work, simply that it's remained awfully hypothetical. It most certainly is not the common case that one receives such a ghost in the form of a $28 Christmas present. I call the other members of our committee. Dr. J can't make it. Dr. M is busy. Dr. S as well. It would seem that my colleagues are cowards. It's amazing, really, how doctors who wait their whole lives in search of such a being will shrink away when faced with the prospect of meeting one. See, I don't believe there to be anything in that trunk, physical, psychical, or otherwise. For one, ghosts are not made of the same matter as we are. They cannot get trapped inside of a trunk. It's illogical. I'm going to open that trunk, and there will be nothing inside. This gentleman from Bath has tricked me into taking an old trunk, an old, empty trunk, and
Oh, you're a darling, aren't you?
Excuse me.
It's lovely to hear a scream for once. People were more afraid to see me alive than they ever were dead. Funny, isn't it? It's odd. Most people make the mistake of assuming it's the children who will be afraid. But that's not the case. Children don't understand the rules of life and death. They will accept what is presented to them, free of the biased belief that dead things should stay underground. My grandniece and nephew weren't affected in the slightest when they came upon my ghost. I suppose it would have been nice if they had been a little happy seeing their lost auntie again, but it's no matter.
Pardon me, but
What really hurt was when Robert found me, and he laughed. That poor little man had the audacity to laugh upon my apparition. Tell me, Doctor, are you married?
yes, ma'am. I have a wife, but I don't see how.
Oh, isn't that lovely? I nearly got married once. A horrible man, a gambler, a drinker. But even he had to turn down such an obnoxious, arrogant woman as myself. And then I was alone. Until I moved in with my favorite niece, Lily. She loved me. She listened to me. That is until she married this brute from Bath, Robert. He scolded me. He swore at me. Do you know what else Robert did, Doctor?
No, madam.
Robert killed me! He threw a bottle at my head when I told him not to hit his wife. Robert took every penny I left to Lily in my will. He sent me to my grave and then laughed when he saw me again. Tell me, Doctor, when Macbeth saw the ghost of Banquo, did he laugh? When Poe's madman heard the beating heart beneath its floorboards, what did he do? He didn't laugh, did he? Of course not, because that's simply not what one does. One doesn't laugh at the ghost of their victim. Not one with a beard, with a sword, with trousers. But, a ghost in a petticoat? Now, can you imagine anything more positively hilarious than a specter in a skirt, a corpse in a corset? Now, you can't take that seriously, can you? I suppose Robert sent you the trunk then? Of course he did. Do you know what it's like to be stuffed into a trunk, Doctor? Suffocated by the stench of your own grave? To not once, but twice be ripped away from all you love by the same man? I should think not. So I suppose my nephew-in-law has requested you to never send me back to Bath. He'd like to be rid of this nuisance, this phantasm haunting his home, as he so kindly puts it. Well, I should have you know I stayed in the house to protect Lily. My fear for her safety was the only thing keeping me from retiring peacefully from the earth like the rest. But now she is as alone as I once was. I cannot save her now.
But, well, we should call the police. Mr. Barker, I mean. Tell them he murdered you. Get him out of your niece's life forever.
You think the police will arrest a man on the account of a doctor who claims he met a ghost? How sweet.
You'll be there too. They can't deny the existence of someone before their eyes.
And you think they'll listen to us? You, a doctor of psychical phenomena, or whatever that means, and me, a ghost in a petticoat? Oh, doctor, you are funny.
Now you see here, my research is highly... I just don't see why they wouldn't believe you. You are a wonder of the natural laws.
Why wouldn't you give Miss Wilson the job?
Excuse me?
Miss Wilson, your assistant. I was in here the whole time. She asked to be considered for the promotion, and you said, how did you put it? She would diminish the respect to which the public sees you?
Well, it's true. It's simply unprofessional to have a...
With all due respect, Doctor, you are operating from what appears to be the basement of a public library. I do not believe professionalism is your greatest concern.
Madam, what point are you trying to make?
My point is that however difficult it is for you to process, the police won't listen to me. They won't listen to me because, dead or alive, I'm wearing a skirt.